who did
Be
this.
here in Hawaii, where would you go?
At some point, there was one chair, different chairs. And that would be the new guys.
All right, we're running a little bit late. Our last meeting is a little bit, minutes over, so let's go ahead and call the meeting to order for the Angola Common Council, Monday, June 17th. Gotta get the roll call, please, when you're ready, Ryan.
Councilmember Coffey. Present. Councilmember Olson. Here. Councilmember Sharkey.
Here.
Councilmember Rowe. Here. Councilmember McDermott. Here.
Well, welcome, everybody. This last week, sitting in my office and the alarm started going off and sirens running everywhere. I checked in to find out what had gone on, or what happened. Apparently, one of our county employees had a medical issue, heart issue, over in the parking lot and ended up face down in the parking lot. Alex friend, Carrie Martinez, and Cayenne, I know I'm going to mess this one up. Brunzowski, I believe is how you pronounce the last name, happened to be there and see it, started CPR right away, called 911 right away. Our first responders got there right away and used a portable defibrillator and brought the person back and did survive, thank goodness. And while we're discussing that, I did let this council know and everybody in the room know, we do have recently added portable defibrillators to City Hall. There's one on the wall right out here by the engineering door over here. So if we need one back here in the council chamber, it's right over there. If you happen to be downstairs, there is one in the public part of our building downstairs. And we've also added them to all of our other city facilities. And we did it just before this happened, but it kind of drove the point home that it was a good decision to add those. And they did use a portable defibrillator to bring this person back. And the machine, it automatically tells you everything to do. You just put the leads on them. The machine figures it all out and tells you when to shock and when not to shock. And the first one they shocked and the person didn't feel it. The second one, they said they got a little bit more of a reaction out of it. So the second one apparently was a little more painful work, but they did survive. Thank you. Let's see. How about if we request approval of the June 3rd minutes?
Move to approve the minutes from the June 3rd meeting.
Second. A motion second. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Unfinished business, ordinance number 1755, 2024, an ordinance amending the Angola Municipal Code, Title 10, Vehicles, Traffic, Chapter 10.15, Traffic Stop Intersections for the third and final reading.
Move to improve. Move to approve.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a statement here. What is that?
It's a sign, yeah. Yes. Yeah.
As you know, I've been voting against this measure, and I realize that this is not the fate of the free world at hand, and we're talking about stop signs. So I do realize that, okay? But there's a few things that I feel like I want to go on the record to say because of that. Got some information from Angola Police Department. Thank them for providing me with it. In terms of accidents at these intersections. Over the last 15 years, there have been, I believe, 7 accidents at these 2 intersections in question. 1 accident at both of these intersections in the last 5 years. That was at West Prospect Street in 2020, and 1 accident at Cross and Randolph in 2021. I realize that safety is of utmost concern, and I don't want to be the person that would, safety is number one for everybody. I also realize that if you're in an accident, it's important to you, regardless of how many there are. But when you compare it to some of the other side streets, over the last 5 years, there's 32 streets. Now, we're not talking about Wayne or Maumee, because as I found out, approximately 90%, and perhaps you can help me with this, I don't know from your experience, but approximately about 90% have happened at intersections involving Maumee or Wayne or parking lots. Okay, so you're looking at around 10 or less than 10%, I believe, on the side streets. The data doesn't really support additional signs that I'm looking at, and I can forward you that information if desired. But I knew we'd be acting on it tonight. But we already know that. We already know that it doesn't support because our people have done a study, and it is and has been city procedure that this be the norm. I think that is my primary objection, because when we start to make a move that counters what our folks are entrusted to do with these tasks, I still say we're in rocky waters. I've heard it and I've seen it said that it doesn't take a genius to know that stop signs slow traffic. I can't vouch to whether they are all geniuses, but certainly people writing the Indiana manual on uniform traffic control devices have had higher education for training on the subject. The next intersection down the road may soon be before us to seek the same thing. Granted, they may stop there, but next intersection, if they're speeders, they're going to be speeders. So I believe it comes down to a little more enforcement. And precedent, if we approve this, will be then set for stop signs basically anywhere. I've also heard from other city employees expressing concerns about actions and that would make their jobs a little more difficult if we proceeded with this. When we started the discussions, we were dealing with these intersections separately. And with all that being said, I may have been able to support one of the intersections, but now I have no choice but to vote no on both. So for those reasons, I cannot support this action.
Any other comment? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed?
No.
Nay.
You good with that? Got it. Okay. Ordinance number 1758, 2024, an ordinance amending. Oh, I'm sorry. I gotta go back up. Ordinance number 1756, 2024, I'm sorry. An ordinance amending the Angola Municipal Code, Title 10, Vehicles and Traffic, Chapter 10.15, Traffic, Section 10.15.150, speed limits for third reading. Move to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Any other unfinished business? Hearing none, let's go on to new business. Ordinance number 1757, 2024. An ordinance amending the Angola Municipal Code, Chapter 8.05, solid waste, taking the rate to 1775.
I have a clarification. In the ordinance I see in my iPad, it says 1770. Is it right now? It's going up in nickel.
That doesn't sound right.
I believe it should be 1770 is what it's going up to.
Our cost is going to 1770.
Right.
Yes.
I think I made a motion, Dave. You weren't here.
To do an additional 5
So doing 5 cents
Yes.
to make just a cushion. And make
Yeah,
that,
1770 is cost.
okay, that was my, just not to make a profit, but to have a little cushion in the account in the event that to level things off if we do this the next year and the next year, because these are going to go up. So it's not a jump in 1 year to make it
That
more.
was my question. Any other? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed?
Do we have a motion?
I thought we had a motion. Thought you made a motion.
No, I was asking. a
Okay, I'm
question.
sorry. Do
I
we
was
have a
I'm
motion?
trying to clarify that. I move approve.
Okay, we have a second.
A second.
Now, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Ordinance number, thank you, on that. 1758-2024, an ordinance amending the zoning map of the city of Angola, the Trine Woodhull addition, first reading.
To approve.
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion?
I just have a question. The only home it looks like, as I looked at the plat here, that may be affected on this is Chrissy Gottrop's little house that's over there. Has she voiced any opposition to this? Has she opposed anything? I haven't.
Rita?
I haven't spoken to her personally, but we have heard that, no, she is not opposed. We're not changing the zoning of her.
Right, but it's going to cause building, and she'll be the last vestige there. That
Yeah, there's actually one other one.
there's a rental property that's
Yes.
there, that brick
Yeah,
building.
there's two of them that are there. As far as I know, and Mr. Olson is here, he may speak on this better from Trine, but hearing from Trine, they had spoke to Chrissy personally, and she was not.
But I
opposed,
assume
had no
since
issues.
it was unanimous with the plan commission, I assumed that, but I was just
Yeah.
curious.
No, I'm glad you asked. For sure.
I have no other questions really.
Another comment? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Resolution number 2024-870. Isaac, I think, is going to ask you to table this. Isaac, please.
Well, that actually decision's up to you all. So thank you, council, mayor, and staff for allowing me to come to present. These abatements often come to me in spurts of information, and I've got Chris here, the more important person from Angola Wire to speak to it. But what we try to produce at the time we get the SB1s and the recommendation from our office is an accurate articulation. Chris informed me that there were some variables that had changed with the overall project. Rather than commit to this project today, we would like to adjust the numbers and make sure that it's an accurate statement to the council. Again, it's not all clear how that will adjust, but it'll give us another 2 weeks with the expectation to come back on July 1st. So since a resolution was prepared and you've got information in front of you, if you see it being tabled as the best choice, or essentially you'll get a new SB1 and a new recommendation. It'll be the same project, but some of the things will change in it. So that choice and determination is up to you.
Yeah, we appreciate the council's patience with this. You know, these are recent developments, and we just want to be accountable to the council and to the abatement and make sure that we do what we say we're going to do. So if we could get a couple of weeks to reevaluate, we'd appreciate it. If not, we can, whatever you guys want to do.
We want to make sure we get the right information.
Yeah, I don't want to commit to something and then we not follow through and then there's problems down the road. I want to make sure that we do everything we say we're going to do.
I guess procedurally, what's the best route?
You just make a motion to table and.
Deny. Okay.
No, don't know.
Okay. Well, I didn't know what.
Chris, breathe.
Well, no, the reason I asked is because if it changes, does that mean it is a new resolution that comes forward?
Well, the number will probably change because of the sequencing.
Right.
So they can recommend dismiss or withdraw that one. I think was that what your question is? That's what I was going
We
to ask
can
too.
modify.
Modify it rather than withdraw it.
Let's just,
Right.
just table it.
That table and it sounds good to me.
I make a motion to table this until next.
A second.
Thank you, council. We appreciate that.
You got anything else to add?
I'm just going right into the next one when you ask me to.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, resolution number 2024-871. Resolution. Council of the City of Angola, Steuben County, Indiana, approving deduction from assessed valuation for the installation of new manufacturing equipment, the installation of new research and development equipment, the installation of new logistic distribution equipment, and the installation of new information technology equipment, and the redevelopment or rehabilitation of real estate improvements, all located within an economic revitalization area within the city of Angola, Indiana, Vestal. Isaac, the floor is yours.
Mayor, that might be the longest resolution reading I've seen in my time here.
We consider it one of the most important we've done this year.
Absolutely. I'm always excited to come and present projects regardless of who they're coming from, but in particular Vestal, because of their partnership with the community in many different ways that they do. This is another expansion to their campus as they have 4 active sites. But this one has probably been the most difficult, in my opinion, to work through because of our capacity problems that we've had with not only gas, but electricity across the whole county. So in this project, we had to consider that. There was a pretty decent sizable cost added to the project just to do the project, to make sure that the adequate utilities were in place. So we had to account for that. But overall, just over $8 million would be spent as related to this project. Because of some vacation schedules, we've not formally got recommendations back from the state. They were still working on their side of the incentive aisle, but I have no indication that they won't follow through with their aspect. So in total, 5.1 million being invested in personal property, 3.2 being invested on, or excuse me, I said that backwards. 5.1 in the real side, 3.2 on the personal property side, about 20 new jobs. Their average pay right now, their base pay is just north of $24 per hour. You'll see before you in the resolution and in the recommendation letter, there's a slight modification to help assist on the cost of the gas expansion, looking at a modification in the first 3 years on the real estate only, and that it follows a traditional sliding scale. But that obviously is supported based on the case analysis that I supplied in my recommendation. So as always, I get the easy questions. I also brought with me Ken today from Vestal. He gets all the hard ones.
Is there a commitment from NIPSCO to bring the utility if this cost is paid?
It's a pay-to-play system, so if
Okay.
you got a willing payer, yes, the gas capacity will be there, but this has been difficult. A lot of the expansion, a lot of the capacity concerns that we have are not at your doorstep. It might be 6-8 miles away. And in this case, that's kind of the issue.
The cost to us, as far as the abatement goes, is much higher than what we would normally offer on a project like this to try to help Vestal overcome the limitations of the gas and the barrier for expansion that NIPSCO has put in place. So we're trying to help them offset to keep them here in Angola and expanding here in Angola. This has been very difficult. We've been working on this for quite a few months and will continue as we work with NIPSCO and Vestal to see this come through. But what we're showing them is our good faith commitment to back them in this expansion. Ken, is there anything you'd like to add?
Business is good, strong. This would really help. The project is really for a new endeavor for us. The company's been really focused on welding, steel and aluminum, and this is a new expansion for plastics. And we were kind of pushed into it by the poor supply chain issues in the marketplace and poor partners that were doing some of the molding for us. And we just decided to bring it in-house and do the molding ourselves. And we've got one machine and we want to expand, but it requires gas. So it's tough when you don't have that supply to expand.
My understanding of this project, you will be onshoring product.
Correct.
Is that true?
Correct.
You'll also becoming more vertically integrated.
100% agree. Yep.
Two great
That's it.
business concepts as far as I'm concerned locally, particularly when you start talking about onshoring things that you've been importing to this country, into the state, into the city. You're going to be manufacturing those products. And that's why we think this project is so important that we see it happen here in Angola.
I move we approve the resolution.
I'll second it.
Motion is second. Any other discussion this evening? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Thank you. Thank you, Ken. And we'll be talking to you and we will working with you to keep this moving forward. Request approval of the agreement. Request approval of the agreement between the Indiana Department of Transportation and the City of Angola concerning the installation of sewer infrastructure, Pigeon Creek Welcome Center. It's the rest area that's on 69. Normally I would have Amanda run through this, but I'll try to fill in the gaps the best I can. We've been working on this with the state of Indiana for quite some time, going back and forth on the contract. The state of Indiana wants to get out of the sewage treatment business at their rest area. They would like us to treat their sewage. And to do that, they are going to install a grinder pump and pipe and run it up the right of way of the interstate and tie into a facility that we have out by the truck stop at 69 and 20. We were very adamant from our side of the equation, and Jeff's here too. He can help fill in some of the gaps. We were very adamant that it be all done at the state's cost, state responsibility for ownership, maintenance, long-term, and any environmental issues that may arise. The state is going to be responsible for all those. They will be paying us to treat the sewage on a metered basis. We'll be putting a water meter out at their rest area out there and charging them a meter rate, and they'll pay us $30,000 connection fee when they tie into our structure here. Jeff was very adamant, and I certainly support him, that we do not want our people working in the right of way of an interstate. We don't have the equipment, we don't have the ability, and we're not going to take a risk to our people to do that. So that's why we wanted everything on the state's back. Jeff, is there anything you'd like to add?
No, I think you covered it pretty good.
Yeah, Kim, is there anything you'd like to add in terms of the contract?
No, Mayor, other than the important thing to me in this contract was that NDOT will own it and maintain it, and we won't.
This did come before us before, and this is the result of
Yes, yeah,
our denial
yes.
a while back.
I can't believe how many contract versions went back and forth. I mean, it was probably a dozen or more. It was a lot before we finally reached an agreement.
These can't have a tap, right? Nobody's going to tap into this.
No.
That's right, Randy, and
Okay.
that was part of the reason we wanted them to own it. Otherwise, we would have had problems.
Because the original one, they said if anybody taps in it, we own it from there on, and we said no.
Okay, that's what I wanted to make sure.
Not in the state right away. They wanted to put it in the state right away.
Yeah.
Well, you can still tap it from there, but we're not going to let that happen.
No, they won't.
They won't allow
They
it.
won't. They will not.
Private sewer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Either they get federal funding for the road, so they're not going to want to allow a private sewer connection into that.
Let capacity take care of it?
Yes.
What happens if the city of Angola grows? Do we still have capacity?
We're gonna have to do a plan expansion eventually anyway, the way we're growing.
Internally, we're looking at starting to do some studies just on that issue. We have a number of projects on the drawing board that are out there, nothing to commit to, nothing to we're ready to bring to you. But we are going to have to take a long-term look at our capacity issues of our sewage treatment plant and collection system both.
Yeah.
And we will probably will not do it from a holistic level. We will probably do it in targeted areas. It's just because of the cost of doing the study.
But this isn't forcing us to do that quicker. Is it?
No, their flows are really not that great from that rest area. They're not that much. So.
Yeah. But by the time we look at hooking in the state park and also looking at some other housing developments and possibly some apartment complexes that we're working with, eventually we will be coming back and bringing expansion plans to you. But we're going to be doing a study right now to figure out where we're at and understand what our capabilities are.
So isn't Donnie and Aaron building something out there south of Love's?
No, they don't have anything firm yet. There's nothing.
That's-
No plans at this time, but
But that's eventually, I think, it's going to happen.
There's some thoughts and there's some talk, but nothing that we're.
That won't, if we do anything on that side of,
We have quite a bit of capacity out there for the Innovation Parkway and all that. And not much is going on there at the time. I'm not gonna say we couldn't maybe have to upsize the force main out there eventually if growth really goes booming. That's possible. With tariffs, with them building more apartments, and if they build more down the road, I mean, anything's possible, the more people you get, so.
So I guess in the contract, it talks about it being mutual interest between the city and NDOT. So I can see NDOT's interest. What's our city's interest?
Well, there was a number of language that ended up sneaking its way back in, and that was one of the
In
comments.
case we get questioned, I just wanted to have some
Yeah.
information.
In our version, that line was eliminated, and for some reason, they kept sticking it back in, but it really, Kim, you want to?
Our interest would be another customer.
Okay.
Yeah, that's,
But really to accommodate, the state of Indiana.
yeah, it's really in their benefit.
Well, and I guess on the cost side, to help me understand, it talked about service fees. And it said that, that NDOT would have payments except to the extent that NDOT is able to apply credits towards the invoices outlined above. And I didn't see.
Basically, they use, Kim, you go ahead.
I didn't know if it was at 30,000 for the service, the tap fee or.
No.
Okay.
This is a lot of boilerplate that's used in contracts around the state. We weeded out a lot of it they were adamant about. And that's one of them. If they're entitled to credits, they'll get credits, but I don't know what that would be.
Okay, thank you.
What is it though?
Right.
Because it does hold, the contract does hold us to
Credit.
whatever I know it is not.
Right.
But they made it very clear they will not allow anybody to tap in. There's no way they're getting credit.
Well,
That was one of the lines we took out and they kept sneaking it back. Yeah, we finally said the heck with it. It really doesn't make any difference.
Yeah.
Entertain a motion?
I would move that we accept this resolution. Or ordinance, excuse me. Whatever it is.
It's the agreement. Approve the agreement.
Approve the agreement.
Second.
The motion second, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? The clerk treasurer's depository statement, cash reconciliation for the month ending May 2024 is presented for your information. Reports. Ryan, do you have anything for us?
Nothing big. We did receive our June tax distribution, property tax distribution today. So our property tax levied funds have got plenty of cash in them now.
Kim?
Oh, Mayor, just an update on one of the houses, a condemned, vacant, abandoned house in a modest subdivision in town. We took them to court 4 years ago, and it had a lot of went a lot of different directions, but the house got torn down and it was sold at sheriff's sale last month. The city will be recouping all of the money that we invested in that project, approximately $13,000. And I understand from Scotty that a beautiful new home is planned there and should be going up real quick.
I think we issue a building permit for it just the
Yeah, I
other
think
day.
they pulled permits, yeah.
I think the permit's been issued, so
So
that.
that's a
They're
happy
building on
ending.
that same foundation.
Yeah.
About the same size, same footprint, pretty much.
Excellent. That's all I have. to report.
Thank you for handling that. You did a very admirable job with it. Thank you. Retha, you have anything for us?
No, I think the only thing is to make sure you guys all leave here and visit Imagine Alley. If you haven't seen it yet over in this southwest quadrant, it's adorable. They got it painted. We had a grant. Janelle Sloan and Rise collaborated and Main Street, and they've got new artwork and just lots of new little things painted over there, a door installed, and it's really cool. So if you haven't walked through it, you need to do that.
The 108 South Wayne Street building is going to get rehabbed here real soon.
109 South
And when
Wayne,
they
yep.
get the alley side of that building done, we're going to repave and clean up the pavement in the alleys and totally rejuvenate that. Anything else?
That's it. No.
Chad, you got anything for us?
Oh, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Selman?
Oh, Mr. Mayor.
Doug, you got anything for us?
I just want to give you guys an update on our high school program. So as you know, we completed that program this year and they graduated. So far I've received 6 part-time applications from them. Last week, we ran 5 of them through our agility test. So currently we're working on onboarding several of them onto our part-time roster. So we're kind of, seeing the results of what we've hopefully created here for a long time. So that's going really well. I have one outstanding application from one of the kids. He just hasn't turned it in yet because he's wanting to come on part-time too. So I'm going to say out of the 11, we're probably going to get 7. So that worked out pretty well. So anyway, just so you have an idea where that whole thing's going. So, and if you drop by the cans, they're all one color now. So they look a lot better.
Great job with the program. And yes, they do look a whole lot better.
And we can thank Rural Coating for that because they supplied us with all the materials to do that. Not done with them yet. We're going to do the railings and the doors will be red, but.
Did you guys do,
I shouldn't
the spraying or did they do it? Who did the spraying? Did you do it? Nice job. It looks good. And I love the program. I went to the graduation. I think I might have said this already. As they were going through the line, getting their diplomas and documentation and certifications, Doug was at the end of the line handing out applications. I love that. That was a classic. I love that. What do you got for us? The chief of our southern headquarters. Nothing? All right. Sue, you got anything for us? Okay. Officer Alley, yes, it's now your turn.
I have a question.
Oh, boy.
Are we going to be having a conversation about going to 12-hour shifts for the police department?
And we were having conversations, but we're a long way from moving that way. We're just starting to talk about it.
A lot faster.
You like the idea?
Yes.
Okay.
As far as I know,
We will have those,
everyone that works the road would love 12-hour shifts.
we will have those conversations. And I have talked to both your chief and your assistant chief, and they say we're having conversations, but we're a long way from moving that.
When we had the invasion of our peacock in Farrington Heights, Officer Alley jumped, trying to capture the peacock.
I was very excited.
Fantastic.
That is, I was excited.
Did you catch it?
I did chase after it.
Okay.
It was very fast.
What were you gonna do with it when you caught it?
First of all, take a picture.
Of you and the peacock?
Yes.
Post it on social media and then handle the situation.
I don't know. Maybe I was going to take it home.
My wife was impressed. She's like, she's really fast.
I was excited about it.
She being the peacock or she?
It was a male peacock. We could tell. It's in the backyard. My son-in-law suggests. Don't you have a barbecue? This is my son-in-law's suggestion.
They're not meeting. Okay, we're gonna get back on track now. Request approval of allowance of accounts payable voucher 69,076 through 69,354, totaling $1,058,776.16, which includes interfund transfers of $70,153.57. Move to approve.
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Do we have any other new business this evening?
I do need to know, somebody's talked to me, who would he talk to, this person talk to regarding our fleet of city vehicles?
In regards to, because all the departments kind of manage their
Maintaining
own.
it, that's what I wondered.
Who's maintaining them?
Yeah,
We do some in-house and we take some out-of-house, depending on what's most cost-effective and the best way to handle it. There are some specialties that we can't do within our city garage, and we do contract out, and a lot of the stuff we do in-house. Ryan, anything you'd like to add to that?
It's really all departmentalized. It's just up to the department who they want maintaining their
would
vehicles.
Ryan be the contact person if I told this person to contact?
Sure.
Thank you.
But pretty much the department heads have their own vehicles or fleet of vehicles that they're responsible for.
I don't know about Ryan, he's so enthusiastic.
I have that problem every morning when I come in. He's just so hyper and so loud.
I just have one question or request. Could we get a list of the departments and who the council liaison is or liaisons to those departments?
Yeah.
I was not aware that maybe I had some certain departments assigned, so I want to make sure.
Yeah, there are appointments and we can redistribute those to we will redistribute them to the entire council, so there's no confusion.
Yeah, to be honest, I think you have most of them.
One other.
Have every single one.
Yeah, we did. We put you on every committee there was.
Well, I didn't know if it was committee related or if it actually had liaisons, like for specific.
I wouldn't call it a liaison, but it is a committee. I mean, there's a public safety committee.
Yes,
Street and
yeah,
alleys.
In the county, we had liaisons. You know,
Right.
that's what we had.
yeah, okay,
No, we just have committee members.
Okay.
For different committees. And then the committees are responsible, obviously, public safety is police and fire.
okay, so it's a little different than.
Yeah, it is.
Real quick, is there any way we can get notification as to, I know we do in our meetings, we act on them, but when things are going in, like businesses,
Oh,
the council can get, because I look dumb enough as it is. I don't need to be sitting there going, I don't know. When I get asked a
we
question.
will have a conversation about it.
I was asked to do that with one of our commissions as well, just kind of maybe a monthly, like, hey, this is going on. So I will add it to just include the council.
Perfect.
On that, if anything's happening, just to let you know.
Okay, thank you.
Monthly, is that okay, or? Okay.
Thank you, Rita.
You're welcome.
Anybody have anything else? Mr. Shipe, anything from Steuben County you'd like to share with us this evening?
Just keep moving along.
We keep trying our, will you be in Fremont tomorrow? I see you're on the invitation list. Or meeting with the
I'm seriously trying, yes,
Speaker of the House.
to try to make that meeting, yes.
Appreciate it. If there's nothing else, I think we are adjourned. The next meeting is Monday, July 1.